we're going in the wrong direction if you look at the curves of the new cases. So we've really got to do something about that, and we need to do it quickly.
Welcome to the news at 5, and a warning today from Dr. Anthony Fauci on Capitol Hill. If America doesn't change course, we could be seeing 100,000 new cases of COVID-19 per day. While the big surges are coming from states like Arizona and Texas, Oregon is not out of the woods. Governor Kate Brown just extended the COVID-19 state of emergency for another 60 days as case numbers continue to rise. The Oregon Health Authority reported 181 new cases of COVID-19 today. And this graph, take a look here, it dates back to April 1st. The blue bars are the daily new cases, and you can see that clear upward trend in just the past 2 weeks. And remember, the statewide mask requirement goes into effect in Oregon tomorrow. You'll have to wear a mask when you're in indoor public spaces, and that means lobbies, grocery and retail stores, and public restrooms. 7 Oregon counties already had this requirement, so this isn't new for many of you. Governor Brown says her order is enforceable by law, but she wants to take a more educational approach. She says OSHA will deal with any businesses not complying. But OSHA tells us it has had more than 3 years worth of complaints in just the last 3 months, so it will take some time to get to them all. A state health expert is telling people in Newport to stop all gatherings right now. A study showed hundreds of people in the small community are likely infected with COVID-19. Keely Chalmers breaks down the latest findings.
What began with just a handful of coronavirus cases 1 month ago has grown to more than 300. 2 people have died. The outbreak started at a Pacific seafood plant in Newport and grew from there. And today, new information: the virus is more widespread in the coastal community than even the experts imagined.
Our results really do indicate that the virus is relatively widespread in the population, and that's
Ben Diel is co-director of the Trace COVID-19 project. Over the last few months, Oregon State University students have teamed up with healthcare workers to conduct random door-to-door COVID testing in various communities. 2 weekends ago, they were in Newport. The result? In the community of roughly 10,600, the study found about 3.4% had the virus, which would mean about 360 people were infected.
So this is the highest prevalence that the Trace project has found by far.
To put it into perspective, similar testing in both Corvallis and Bend suggests about 1 person per 1,000 in those communities has the virus. The cases in Newport are 10 times that.
We ought to have expected high numbers given what we knew, but I sort of on a personal level, I wasn't prepared. It's still shocking.
The Oregon Health Authority called the results very concerning and is urging residents to take action to stop the spread of the virus. That includes wearing face coverings in public and eliminating any social gatherings. Lincoln County is also continuing with its testing events and is working with the university on what steps to take next. DL says whatever those steps are, they need to make sure these numbers don't grow.
Perhaps a little higher than we were expecting. And I think we're still chewing on that. But it's always disturbing to be getting data back about the progression of a pandemic.
Keely Chalmers, KGW News.
More Portland restaurants are closing for good due to lost business. 2 notable ones just announced. They're done. Blue Hour has been a part of the Pearl District for 20 years. Owner Bruce Carey just announced on his Facebook page the upscale eatery would not reopen. And Mimero Mole has been a staple of Chinatown for 9 years. But owner Nick Zukin says he can't afford to pay his employees anymore past Friday. So that will be the last day for the once popular Mexican restaurant.
You know, I put 15 years into this, and I started with basically nothing. Built up, what I was hoping was going to be my retirement, and now it's all gone. So I don't know, I'm approaching 50, I don't know if I want to start over.
Zukin has set up a GoFundMe for employees. Many are undocumented workers and cannot collect unemployment. He says he's also helping them find new jobs. The ODOT project to expand I-5 in the Rose Quarter could be in jeopardy after losing several major supporters today, including Portland's mayor. The $715 million plan would add merging lanes on both sides of I-5 between 405 and 84. That's the area that runs up next to the Moda Center. Earlier today, Albina Vision Trust, a nonprofit focused on restorative justice, told ODOT it could no longer support the project. And shortly after that, so did Commissioner Chloe Eudaly and Mayor Ted Wheeler. The mayor said goals around climate, community, and economic development have not been met, and he can't support the project without Albina Vision's support. There are also concerns about the freeway's impact on the historically black Albina neighborhood, which was basically cut in half when I-5 was built in the 1960s. Barriers around the protest area in Seattle known as CHOP came down today. The Capitol Hill Organized Protest, or CHOP, has been occupying a small portion of the street outside a Seattle police precinct since June 11th. After the fourth shooting in 10 days near the CHOP on Monday morning, the police chief of Seattle encouraged the remaining protesters to leave.
It felt as if someone was giving you mouth-to-mouth resuscitation and they were blowing actually toxins into your lungs. It was that severe and that direct, and it has a burning sensation.
A Portland woman says she got sick after police sprayed tear gas to disperse protesters. It drifted into her apartment with no way for her to escape it. Monique Jefferson wants the city to pay up for what happened. She was watching a protest from her balcony near the Portland Art Museum on May 31st when she says the tear gas filled her apartment. Jefferson says she suffered burning in her chest, throat, and nose, along with an earache.
This is not about the money, it's the principle. And it's the principle that we have to hold law enforcement accountable.
She's asked the city for $10,000 in damages and threatens a lawsuit if the city won't pay. A city spokesperson told KGW they don't comment on pending litigation.